My name's Dhara, and I play the upright bass, primarily jazz, but I'll play in other types of groups as well. I started playing piano as a kid and then got really involved with my school organizations in middle school and in high school. And I came through the jazz program at Albemarle High School with the great Greg Thomas. And after that, I just started taking it more and more seriously and knew that it was something that was really important to me. And no matter what, it was always fun and always really fulfilling. So I kind of held on to it through adulthood. I've mostly focused on jazz as a professional musician because it sort of inherently supports this idea of, supports the music community just through the way that different musicians come together, because there's a body of work that all jazz musicians are pretty familiar with and know, and so you can connect with someone very quickly who you just met over a shared tune, or a new or old artist that you know you love and want to learn more about their music. And so that kind of, the sort of connection that I had to the community and different musicians who also played jazz was kind of the biggest driver for me. But then also personally, I think there's ability to kind of be a little bit more creative and free with how you explore your ideas, and being able to rework certain tunes and play something different every time you do it was also really appealing. And I still feel like there are tunes that I've played 50 times, but I've played them all different ways each time. So that kind of continues to stay exciting, you know, even after doing gigs over and over again. Working as a musician in Charlottesville has been just a huge privilege because Charlottesville is a small town and it's not as densely saturated as other cities, but the perk of that is that you get to know people really well and make connections more quickly and on a more deeper level than you might in a bigger, more hustling city. And I think that people here are very supportive of local musicians and want to hire you for gigs, and they understand and appreciate live music because it's deeply rooted in the culture here. So I think that I've always felt supported by people I've known for my whole life and people who I've just met, like venue owners or other musicians or other teachers. And so I think that this community has really been a crucial part of me continuing as a musician in Charlottesville. I don't know that I would have had the same opportunities in other cities. And also, I think, Charlottesville, it doesn't have as much saturation as other cities, but it's also given me the opportunity to pursue other careers and be able to sort of balance those two things because, generally speaking, everyone is really supportive of your life, both inside and outside of work, regardless of what it is you do.
My name is Ayinde Williams. I'm 23 years old. I play the piano, and I got into the piano. It wasn't really my choice. My mom wanted something to occupy my time, so she was like, "Let's put him in piano lessons." So I kind of just was put into it. So I've been playing since 2008, and now I'm here. Just overtook my life. Okay. How I transitioned from being a student into a professional, that also kind of just happened. I discovered jazz the same summer I started playing. I fell in love with the music, Miles Davis, everything, Ron Carter, Herbie Hancock, all that stuff. It was a big influence on me. And I loved it, and I kept doing it, and I went to college for it, and I just started working. I've just been thrusted into a world with a lot of different people, and I've learned so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm born and raised in Richmond, so I've been in Virginia most of my life outside of a few years where I was doing other things, but I've been born and raised, so it's like my home. And I think the primary draw about Virginia and Richmond in particular, there's so many amazing musicians from a whole lot of different skill sets and a whole lot of different levels. So I've learned so much from so many different people. I've been just so grateful to have experienced so much, Okay. Influences. I have a lot of influences. Piano-wise, I'm influenced by all the greats, Oscar Peterson, Sonny Clark, Bud Powell, then all the new guys, Sullivan Fortner, Christian Sands, just amazing piano players. And I'm influenced by a lot of different anime, movie scores, things like that. So I have a lot of different things that I'm drawing from,
My name is CJ Wolf. I play the drum set, and I started on guitar, and then I had the garage in the neighborhood, so the drums were always left at my house, so I kind of would, get to play them, and that's kind of how I started, getting into the drum set. I started playing drums about 9th grade, I would say. I mean, I always tapped on stuff and, always playing rhythms. My mother was an aerobics instructor. So the entire time I was in her stomach, I was going to aerobics classes and hanging out at fitness centers, and hearing her making mixtapes. So I was surrounded by music at a young age. But yeah, the drums started completely informal. I never took any lessons until I was in my early 20s. So completely self-taught all through high school. But I played a lot. I would, as soon as school was done, I would go to my grandparents' place where I kept my drums, and I would play all night, just to records and things. And then I started taking lessons with actually a Charlottesville drummer named Brian Caputo, if you guys are familiar. He was one of my first instructors, and from there that led me to get a little more serious about it, and then I ended up going to VCU and was a jazz performance. Yeah, so it was always, Richmond was great for musicians because there's a lot of styles of music, and there's a lot of jazz, there's a huge punk rock scene, huge metal scene, and there the genres, they kind of blend together. I mean, I remember doing a jazz gig one time at a brewery called Hardywood, and it was right before a Municipal Waste show, which is like a metal punk rock band. I mean, there was like, mohawks and chains and leather, all around, but like they were all watching us play jazz for, a couple hours before the Municipal Waste, and it seemed to work. I don't know how many other places like that happens. But yeah, the jazz community was great in Richmond. I had a lot of older musicians that helped me out and kind of showed me the ropes early on. And then of course VCU in Richmond is, they're imperative not only with music but visual arts and crafts, and so that's a huge thing for the city too.